Hello, my name is Yaya. This is a very short video demonstrating how you can proceed with HTZ communications and HTZ warfare license activation. So you received emails from support at hti-group.com with the title HTI new license key. So today HTI is centralizing server management, license management, and we are transmitting system-generated emails to all our customers to do the migration from ACS Telecom EV into HTZ communications, and also for the defense to migrate to HTZ warfare. So let's have a look. I received 2 emails. So very likely I have 2 licenses. That's why I have 2 emails. So let's look at the first email. The first email, there is download instructions. There's a link. You can download the software and then install it. And there's a note here about Visual Studio C++. This is for HF module. If you have HF module or you use it, then you download this additional license. And here we have the key, and we have the deadline for the activation and news and updates, and most importantly, this section here. Please pay attention to that section. That section is saying the application is HTZ communications, so that license can only be used to activate that product. And you can see it's a standalone license. So it's issued to, it can be used on a specific computer, and it will be locked to the specific computer. It's not a server or floating license. This is a standalone license. Now, let's have a look quickly at the other email. So the other email is pretty much the same information, same software. However, there's difference. Now, the type of the license is a server. And you see there's additional instructions here. So we have a link that we need to download a server application, dedicated server application. Can be used to host the new license. So let's get started. So go back to the standalone license. That's the standalone license, HTZ communication standalone. So copy the key and then run the application HTZ communication. So when you run the tool, usually it doesn't complain. It will just take you to the landing page showing you the global view. Go to help, and then you go to software license. Now the software is complaining, it's asking for the license. Activate the software. We have different options. Now if you have internet access, great. So you only need internet access once, which is now during the activation process, but after that no need to. Okay, if you have restrictions, then you can't use the key we provide. You have to go offline activation, and you need to supply us with additional information. So today I'm going to focus on online activation. So you got online activation, and then you put in the key, and that's it. Now you just go and activate. So that will activate the license now. We just wait a couple of minutes, maybe a couple of seconds, and then here we go, successful. The license is activated. So if I take you to have a look in C drive now, HTI and HTZ communications, you see there's a new key generated just now. Okay, so this key is just generated. This is your license. Effectively, you can back it up. It's a good idea if you back up this file, just in case you deleted this directory in the future. So software now is working. So here we go. License is valid, and it's registered to this computer. The end of the maintenance is this date. So that's it. HTZ now is successfully activated. HTZ communications. Now we need to move on and activate the second product. So the second license. So you navigate down there, and then you can see here it's HTZ communication as well. But this is a server license. So server license means you need to install this application. I already installed this application, and please make sure you have .NET Framework 4.7.2. So I already have this tool here. It's called HTZ Technologies. So this is the server that's going to host the license for you. So how do we proceed? Straightforward. So we've got 3 tabs. So initially this tab's empty. You go to the first tab. So the first tab here, refresh, and You go to the license tab, license tab, and then you refresh, and that's going to panic. It's going to ask you for the license. Okay, no problem. Activate the license. Same story. You only need internet once, which is now, to activate the license. Now this time, because this is server, now I use this for this one. Now remember here, I'm now doing a different license, so it could be a different customer. So activate the license. So done. Now this server, refresh. Okay, now the license is activated. Now you can have a look. When you click on the key here, you can see the license is valid. You can see probably your name, date of the date it was added, validity, maintenance support, expiry date, and the type of license and the number of sessions supported. So this is the default communication port over the network. So usually this activation needs to be done on a dedicated computer on the network, which could be a server or any other server hosting the different licenses. So it doesn't have to be the same computer running HTZ. So the idea is to have a central server hosting the licenses and controlling number of concurrent users. So you refresh in case you don't see the information. Now you see that key now is active, and in fact the software also generated inside that license server application license.flick file. You can back up this file. It's a good idea you back it up for the future. So now the license is active on this machine, and I need to install a service. So this is using Microsoft services in order to register the service and to run in the background and control the license. So you can give the service any name you want, as long as it's not used currently in the system. So you see service is not installed, you give it a name and then you install service. So service now is installed, but the status is stopped. So you can refresh and then you can play or start. So you can start the service. So you see my firewall here is detecting an activity, allow, beautiful. Now you see status is running. So the service is now running. So this server is ready to communicate. So that tab is for the license. That tab is for the process to be, or for the service to be deployed, and then you can check the status of that service. And if you want to uninstall it or if you want to stop it, you can do that. Now, the last one is the list of users using the license. So currently there's no one. So I'm going to activate HTZ. Now, the HTZ, it could be on the network. So it could be any computer. You need to note down the IP address of the computer. So for example, this computer has an IP address of this one, 117 on the wireless. So this is the IP address of the computer. So I'm going to now activate HTZ and over the network. So it could be different computer, like I said. So run HTZ communications because that's the product I'm going to host. So as normal, you go to help, check for license, software license. So you see that computer has no license right now, and I can borrow the license or access the license on the server, and that's the server I'm going to use. So I'm going to activate the software, but this time I'm not going to use online or offline. I'm going to use a server. So server means I need to have the IP address of the server over the network. So activate, successful. So now license is valid and HTC is happy, and go and check this one, refresh. You see there's already one user is hooked to the server and getting a license. So if I go and refresh again, software license is valid. If I shut down the application, after a couple of seconds, it will just free the license after a couple of seconds, it will be removed from the list here, which means the license will be available to someone else over the network to use it. You just need to follow the same activation process for the HTZ communication. So that's it. This is what we wanted to show you for today. I walked you through the activation process for standalone license on a computer directly, and also I showed you how you can use a server license to deploy on a central server and then use that license to be accessed by other users. Thank you for your time.